From time to time, I will get a comment on one of my videos that has to do with a specific religious or metaphysical belief system. And oftentimes the person or the people who make these comments will say something to the effect of, personality type is fine, or MBTI is great, or, something of that nature. But you need to have this belief system, or you need to subscribe to this particular religious concept or something of that nature. Now, what I want to start out by saying here is that I am not in any way, shape, or form dismissing anyone's religious beliefs. I have very strongly held religious beliefs. I have my own religious beliefs. So I'm not saying that you don't need, I'm not trying to say to any of you listening, you don't need to believe some particular system or metaphysical concept or religious belief system or doctrine or theology or whatever. I'm not saying you don't need to believe that. I'm not commenting really on that at all. What I do want to say, though, is that the way I see it, personality type is an independent concept that can be understood in the light of whatever it is you believe religiously or theologically, or it can be understood perhaps apart from whatever it is that you believe religiously or whatever you believe metaphysically. But the two can go hand in hand. You don't have to say, oh, this idea is fine, but you need this other idea. You can say both, or you can say neither, and it's fine. Now, let me explain to you why I believe that to be true. In my view of personality type, all personality type is to me is basically this. The human mind comes from birth pre-wired to favor certain aspects of its perceiving or observing abilities over other aspects of its perceiving or observing abilities. Thus, it either favors the physical sensory data that it collects over the intuitive guesses or connections that it makes, or it favors the intuitive connections over the physical sensory data. And then, of course, it does that in an extroverted or introverted way with each of those concepts. So the human mind comes pre-wired to favor certain aspects of its perceiving abilities over other aspects of its perceiving abilities. And then the human mind is also pre-wired to favor certain aspects of its decision-making faculties or judgment-making faculties over others. So it favors the thinking, logical reasons, pragmatism, getting things done over the feeling, do I value this or do people value this? Is this, does this bring good emotions? Does this bring good feelings? It either favors whenever it's making a decision or a judgment about those things which it has perceived and about the way that it has to move forward in life. It either favors that thinking idea over, or that thinking function over the feeling function, or it allows the emotions and the feelings and the values to hold a greater sway over its judgments and its decision-making faculties than it allows the thinking, logical reasons function to hold sway. So the human mind, it just comes pre-wired to favor certain aspects of its perceiving over others and to favor certain aspects of its judging or decision-making over others. That's it. I mean, yes, it's nuanced. We can dive into it so deeply and try to understand how that looks in the human mind as it plays out in people's actions and their words and, their decisions in life. But at the end of the day, it's just about how the human mind comes pre-wired to deal with reality and get through life, okay? Now, if you are a person who believes in a supreme being, and I'm not trying to oversimplify, there are different belief systems that all include a supreme being, and those belief systems are very specific about various characteristics of that supreme being. But if you believe in any system that includes a supreme being, wherein that supreme being has created humans through whatever means it is that you believe he or she or it did that, that supreme being could have easily pre-wired the human genetic structure to produce that mind that has those preferences. So it's very possible that God created human beings pre-wired, each one of us pre-wired to favor certain perceiving functions over others and certain judging or decision-making functions over others. Now, if you do not believe that human beings were brought into existence through a divine creative act, and you believe that human beings evolved into what we are, then likewise, the concept still holds. Because all you would need to say then is that the human mind has evolved to favor certain perceiving functions over others whenever it is observing the world and trying to make sense of it, and the human mind has evolved to favor certain judging or decision-making faculties over others when it is trying to make judgments about what it has perceived and decide how it is going to move forward in life based on those judgments. In either case, you can believe both, right? You can believe that human beings are evolved to what we are now, and that along the way, that evolution included brain wiring. Seems perfectly reasonable to me. Or you can believe that a supreme creator made human beings and chose in the making of them to pre-wire their brains, our brains, to favor certain perceiving or observing functions or abilities of our mind over others, and to favor certain considerations whenever we make our decisions or judgments. And if you believe that a supreme being created the basis for all existence and then allowed it to just play out as it will, so also the truth or the concept holds. So to all of you who want to say to me, personality type is fine, but you need to believe this, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just telling you that that's a false. What am I trying to say? I think the concept is false dichotomy. I don't want to use a term that's incorrect here. It's you're putting someone in a either or situation that does not need to be an either or situation. It can be a both and situation. The two things can coexist harmoniously. And if you are one who believes in a creative being who made us, then isn't that interesting to say how fascinating that this creative being chose to make our minds so intricate and complex and different, and yet in many ways the same, and chose to introduce into the human experience the diversity of those who favor thinking over feeling, those who favor sensing over intuition, or vice versa, those who, when they are required to consider abstract concepts, go out and explore, and those who, when they are required to consider abstract concepts, go in and narrow, those who explore the emotions and the feeling range that exists within humanity, and those who are very aware of and concerned with their own emotions and their own feeling ranges. Isn't it fascinating to think that a supreme being saw fit to wire that into the human experience? Or if you don't believe in the supreme being, isn't it interesting that the natural chemical processes that led the human being to be what it is right now functioned in such a way that our minds are wired in all the same ways that I just described? And what could that mean for us? And what are the advantages? And what was the point of it all coming to this? What events happened along the way that caused the human to be more well equipped for dealing with the world in which it exists because of these different perceiving preferences and these different judging or decision-making preferences. Either way, it's a fascinating concept, no matter how you believe it came to be. And either way, you can see this concept play out in reality day to day as you observe other human beings and how they perceive the world, and then how they make judgments or decisions about the things which they perceive. Thank you so much for watching. Do please click like if you found this video to be informational, entertaining, or useful. Please subscribe if you have not already. If you are watching my channel regularly and you feel that you are benefiting from this content, then I would ask that you kindly consider to go to the link in the description below, where you will have the opportunity to make a financial donation to this channel. Thank you again and have an awesome day. Bye now.